and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on King Richard II, and today we get to hear again from King Richard II in Act 4, Scene 1. So things that are going on. Everybody's in London now, and nobody is really, well, there's only a couple people that are kind of sort of on King Richard's side at this point. The scene started off with a lot of people accusing O'Merle, the Duke of O'Merle, who is the Duke of York's son, of killing Gloucester. So there was a lot of like throwing of gauges, which are gloves, like if you throw it down and if the other guy picks it up, then he agrees to like fight you over the thing. And it got so bad that O'Merle has to like ask somebody else for a gauge because he's run out of gauges to try to defend his honor. But then they determined that they can't figure out his innocence or guilt without Norfolk, otherwise known as Mowbray, otherwise known as the dude who was banished in Act 1, Scene 3 for the rest of his life, otherwise known as the guy who died during his banishment. So they can't quite settle that. But then they call in Richard, who has sort of resigned himself to the fact that he's going to have to abdicate the throne. He's going to have to allow himself to be deposed. He's going to have to hand over the crown to Bolingbroke, but he's not quite ready to do so, because if you remember, King Richard thought that he was king because God made him so. He thought that he was the voice of God, and he'd been king since he was very, very small. So this is to give up the crown for him is to give up his identity. And yesterday he came in with sort of a, weren't all these men that want to bow to Bolingbroke now, didn't they used to be mine? And didn't they used to say, all hail to me? And that sort of thing. And they're like, we need you to do this thing. And he holds out the crown in one hand and asks Bolingbroke to take the other, and Bolingbroke is like, I'll take care of this. And he's like, no, this is not about cares. My care is loss of care, and your care is gain of care. And he plays with words, and he's having a really hard time letting go of himself, because that's kind of a big ask. And it gets to the point where finally Bolingbroke is like, are you sure that you're okay with this? Are you contented to give up the crown? And Richard says, no. For I must nothing be. Therefore, no, for I resign to thee. Now mark me how I undo myself. I give this heavy weight from off my head, and this unwieldy scepter from my hand, the pride of kingly sway from out my heart. With mine own tears I wash away my balm, with mine own hands I give away my crown. With mine own tongue deny my sacred state, with mine own breath release all duteous oaths, all pomp and majesty I do forswear. My manners, rents, revenues I forego. My acts, decrees, and statutes I deny. God pardon all oaths that are broke to me. God keep all vows unbroke are made to thee. Make me that nothing have with nothing grieved, and thou with all pleased that hast all achieved. Long mayst thou live in Richard's seat to sit, and soon lie Richard in an earthy pit. God save King Henry! Unkinged Richard says, and send him many years of sunshine days. What more remains? So this is the speech wherein he gives up his crown, he gives up his life, he gives up his identity, he gives up his power, his land, his money, his everything. He says all of the things to give it all away and to give it to Bolingbroke. And I love the line, God save King Henry, unkinged Richard says. It's the sort of the ultimate transfer of power, and now that he has done so, the what more remains is him just asking, like, can I leave now? I've done my thing, and I'm tired, and I'm exhausted, and I can't be in front of all of these people anymore. What else do I have to do? And they present him with a list of things, and he has to read this list of things that he did wrong, that he did badly while he was king. And tomorrow we get to hear how he feels about having to read this list in front of all of these people. So yeah, tomorrow we will hear from Richard, no longer King Richard. I'll see you then for that.